We are so happy to have our guest co-host back at the Girl Chat table. You know her from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she's as sweet as a Georgia peach. It's Eva Marcel. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Are you ready to do some girl chat?
I am.
I love it. Okay. Well, have you guys ever heard of the term frenemy?
Oh.
All right. Well, I just read this article on a website called Women Working that recently broke down what to do when a friend becomes a frenemy. Like, they literally broke down everything from, like, do you fight for your friendship? Do you try to make it work? Or do you just let it go? Have you guys ever experienced any frenemies? And if so, do you think it's smart to keep your friends close and your frenemies closer? Or are you just like, nah, I'm good, bye?
Nah, I'm goodbye.
Yeah. Me too.
Yes.
I went through a period of time where, for some reason, I tried to make frenemies my friend. I was bothered by the fact that they wouldn't like me.
Yeah.
So you just try to be over nice or let them borrow your makeup or borrow your things as girls. So we're speaking
Don't
girls.
do that. You can get a sty in your eye.
Girl, I know. That's like, yes, but I mean, like, if a girlfriend was like, do you have any lip gloss or something, and it's your frenemy, you just open up to them because you don't want to be that girl, right?
Yeah.
Then I learned something really interesting when I started to pour into my childhood, and I learned that if you're ever a child and somebody, usually somebody who's a perpetrator, tells you not to trust yourself or tells you what you're feeling is just in your head, get over it. You learn not to trust your own instinct.
Yeah.
And that sticks with you until you change that. So I kind of like always just, instead of noticing a friend of me, I just would always try to be nice or try to make over it, not realizing that my intuition is fuego, dude. Like, yes. Because when you really learn, your intuition, you not only know yourself, but I know you too.
Yeah.
So then you have to start setting those boundaries that if somebody's not good for you, not healthy for you, man, just back up, let it go. Like, don't even try to fight it. What are you thinking, Lonnie?
You know, it depends on what you became an enemy about. So a lot of times it's basic stuff that we can fix. Like, people borrow money from me. And they say they're gonna pay it back, and they don't pay it back.
How you fix that?
Well, you have a conversation with them, and you say, give me my money, or...
We're not friends.
Or we're not friends anymore?
Or I won't say that. I will say I won't loan you money again.
Okay.
Because I don't want this to keep coming. So that was your gift. So it depends on what it is. Or maybe, okay, maybe you did something like you flirted with my boyfriend.
Uh-oh.
You know what I mean? So that
Is there coming back from that?
Well, it's a conversation.
Wow.
It's a conversation.
What's the conversation?
You are very kind.
It depends on it depends on the situation and the place.
It's the bye-bye conversation.
Are your hands around their neck during this conversation?
It depends on, like I said, the extent of the relationship and how long the relationship has been. And a lot of times there are misunderstandings that people don't, and people are going through situations. And I think if we say we're forgiving people, and me, I'm trying to be a more spiritual person. I really try to understand where you're coming from. But I do it with a little side eye.
Right, I was gonna say
see, that was, I just wanted to ask the question because I'm looking back in my life and I don't think I've ever had a frenemy.
Well, see,
maybe
you have.
because
you just don't know.
Well, no,
What are the signs?
no. It's because I don't know. Ever since I was little, I always trusted my gut. I call it like discernment. So I cut it from the past. Like if you're in my circle and I'm not vibing with you, like what's coming out of your mouth, your actions aren't following, and I'm seeing it happen consistently, I naturally just go, you know what? No,
Tamara,
this isn't meant to be.
What about those that are really good at hiding it? Because
That's
those
the thing,
are the
gift-
real
no.
frenemies. Because I've had
telling
those
you.
people
But the
in
gift
my
of discernment
life
you
for
can't hide.
years, though.
That's what I'm saying
They
for
have
me.
been like friends for years. They were good friends. They did like great things. We have great memories. And then there's a shift that happens.
Jealousy,
and no
maybe?
one. There's definitely jealousy mixed in that little pot.
Insecurity up in there.
It's sprinkled on top for a little bit of flavoring.
Yes.
But then you find out like years later, and those I think are the hardest ones. When it's someone that you loved and trusted for years, and then you realize that
You never,
it wasn't
ever
genuine.
felt just a little bit, a little red flag? Because you know women,
Yeah,
we're
but maybe
intuitive.
I thought I was PMSing that day. I thought it was me.
you
not
were
Or
them.
we
questioning-
give them a break, too. We
Yes.
think the woman is like, she's
You're
going
right.
through something, or she needs my love because she's insecure.
Yeah.
So I want to show her why she's
Yes, like you're a terrible friend, so let me be a great friend to you so that maybe you can learn.
So,
Maybe
so
I'll
what
lead
I'm
by
telling you guys to
example.
do is learn to trust that.
Yeah.
Don't
That
ignore the
feeling.
red flag.
Yeah.
Don't ignore that feeling.
I get that.
That's good. Okay, well, moving on. Yeah, because I want to talk about this. This lady was on Instagram, and she put a picture of her and her baby. She got her feelings.
Oh.
And there she is, beautiful little boy, right?
How cute are they?
But she had this long, thing talking about, don't tell me not to baby my son, and he's going to be a mama's boy, and, I was like, why is she in her feelings, about... she was going through it that day. She
Maybe
needed a
someone
friend.
told her.
Oh.
Someone probably told her that.
Well, and because, she, literally, listed all the things that, that she does, and she's like, and it was, a lot. So, since
That
we have
people have
mothers at the
criticized
table.
her about?
For being, for making her, she's basically claiming that her little boy is going to be a mama's boy, and don't criticize for her,
Well, the problem is, and I think you can back me up, is there's a lot of unsolicited parenting advice out there. People telling you how to raise your kids.
Yes.
Right.
Discipline your kids. Don't discipline your kids. Time out. Ferber.
That's not what I want to talk about because, everybody can raise their kid the way they want.
Yes.
I'm asking the question to the mothers is, you have boys, right?
Yeah. Two.
He's so cute.
Beautiful.
Are you going to raise them as mama boys, or do you think a mama boy is a bad thing?
Where's your line at?
Okay, so I think my boys are naturally mama's boys. Like, my daughter is independent. Like, no, Mom, I can do it. And I'm like, you totally don't know how to do it. But it's okay. But the boys latch to me. I think there are two sides of it. So there's a part as a mom where you just want to protect and dote over your child, right? And then there's that part where you want to impart, independence in them and let them start doing things for their own self. The problem comes in when you baby your kid is that it's fine if you want to baby your kid, but everyone's not going to baby your kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're not with your child all the time.
Yes.
So what about the times when you're not there to cut up the food like you normally do? Like, he needs to learn how to hold that chicken.
Yes.
He needs to learn how to hold a fork. No one's going to do zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah.
Let's feed you. Right? So I think that's a big part of it is
At
it's
what
for
age is that
others.
transition?
You
See,
answer
in
that.
our household, it's weird. Like, in the beginning, because I nursed Aiden, we were attached.
Yeah.
Literally. And then I also had the ergo baby, when you carry, the baby. But then once Aiden started moving, Adam was, in his life a little bit more, and I hurt my back, so I really couldn't, do a lot. Now Aiden has come back to mommy, and I absolutely love it. And, I think there are some moms who take advantage of that. Like, oh, yes, he comes to me. He only comes to me. But I don't want that for my child.
Right.
I want him, to love his dad just as much as he loves me. And I'm a true believer of it takes a village as well.
It really does.
What do you think? What do you think to people who say that? Obviously there are gender roles, which this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like we should just raise great human beings. It shouldn't be about who's bad.
well,
you're a boy, so you shouldn't cry. You have to be tough.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that sort of thing as well. What if you have a son that is very needy or needs to be nurtured?
Aiden is our needy one in the family.
Really?
Actually. Araya is very independent.
It
Aiden
happens
comes
like
to
that.
me and says, "Mommy, I want some cuddles." At first, I was like, "Huh? He was like, "Mommy, I just want cuddles," and I didn't stop him from doing that though.
That's
I
good.
think,
great.
I want to teach my son that it's okay to want love that way, and it's okay to cry too.
Yeah.
It's okay to say you're not okay.
But see, when we were growing up, little boys weren't allowed to cry.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's really hurt.
Yes.
Yeah. But why is that? I mean,
Because
why?
it seemed as a feminine thing, and it
Yes.
seemed weak. And I want to say, I don't have kids, but I've definitely dated men that were on both sides of the spectrum. Somebody who's super needy and they have a cough and they're on the phone with their mom and they don't go to work for days, or they lose a job. They don't lose a job and they can't get out of bed, or they've
I don't
given up
want
on
that.
life. I've also seen the other that's like, we men, we don't cry, man. You don't.
Right.
You stuck with
it
that
up.
kid. And that's really dangerous because you're literally cutting off your emotional flow, which allows you to do process.
Yeah.
So I want to say, if I was a mom, I would make sure to give, because I didn't grow up with a lot of physical touch.
Yeah.
So if I was a mom, I would make sure to covet my child and make my son know, cry it out. What's making you sad right now? Does it make you feel better after you're sad? And then, okay, son, you got it out. What are we gonna do? How can you
What
make
you're
it better?
saying is basically you're teaching your child emotional intelligence.
Yes,
And I think we lack that nowadays.
That's it. Yep.
I think we should never let our children feel like their emotions are
Yes.
invalid?
Well, each
Or
kid
the-
is different, I think,
Yes.
you learn as a parent. You know, you think like, I'll raise my boys like this and my girls like this, but forget the gender roles because your girl might be the hard one,
That's
your
what
son
I'm saying,
might be
Araya.
the sensitive
Yeah.
one. And I think, and you might have one son that's sensitive and one son that's hard. So you have to really stay in tune and be present when
attention.
raising your kids
Yes.
and kind of learn what each kid is about.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
all of them are different.
Different.
I
And
like
what
emotional
needs are-
intelligence. It's not about it being feminine or masculine.
Yes, absolutely.
I get that.
Okay, speaking of parenting, right? So this Australian mom blogger, Constance Hall, she posted something on Facebook. I want to get your guys' opinion about
Okay.
it. It's regarding step parenting. So she talked about the do's and don'ts for step parents out there, all right? If some kid's not yours, but
It's
you're looking
yours.
at him or her, right?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so one tip is don't discipline someone else's kid. Toddlers and younger are different. They need it for their own safety.
Okay.
So they do, but then
Okay.
older don't discipline. Another tip is they will hate it if you discipline them. It won't feel natural or fair. So the only reason a parent can discipline their child is because that child knows exactly how much their parent loves them. Okay? So she's basically saying, don't touch somebody else's kid. Don't discipline them. Don't say nothing. Stay away from it because the only person they're going
But
to
then
grab
don't
them
leave your kid around me.
Right? I'm like, I want to weigh in.
Okay, so,
Okay.
so I knew this would be
really
controversial.
depends on-
I knew this would be controversial because a lot of parents disagreed with
Well,
her.
we have
So-
step parents.
Okay.
Like, my husband is, I guess, my daughter's stepdad.
Yeah.
But he came into her life at such an age where that's all she knows as a dad.
Got it.
And that's her father, and we haven't even had the, like, this isn't biologically your father talk yet.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
she has no clue. And I think if you have that kind of step parent situation where you come in at a young age, then discipline is absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Is the stepfather involved? I mean, the biological father involved at all?
No, for everyone's well-being.
Got it. Okay.
Absolutely not. However, if my daughter was 12 and I had finally met my husband, I don't think I want him coming in disciplining my 12, 13-year-old daughter, right? So I think
difference.
it depends on the age
Yeah.
and at what point they kind of really got ingrained in the family.
I don't care how old they are. If they get a sassy mouth with me,
What you gonna do,
What you
Lonnie?
gonna do? What
we
you
gonna
gonna
fight.
do?
We gonna fight.
Yo, I high-key feel that because sometimes you just want to be like, outside right now. Let's
No,
go.
I feel like it depends on what that family and what those parents believe discipline
Yes.
is.
Right.
So
Have
not
an open
everybody even
conversation.
believes in hitting their children.
Oh, no.
Some people don't think that that's the way to discipline. Some people believe it's a conversation, it's sitting down. I have older stepchildren, lit
Yeah.
children. I don't think that's my place. I think if there is an issue, you speak to the parents and you can say, hey, I'm co-parenting and I'm helping
Okay,
you
I have a
out
question.
here. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What
I'm
if
not
one
hitting
of
their
your
kids.
no, I know that. I think it's very important, like you said, I think it's very important to have that open conversation.
Yeah.
And if you guys discipline differently,
Yeah.
you need to talk to the parents about that.
Yeah.
But what if one of your lit children did something around you that you didn't agree with? Say your lit child stayed out a little bit too late with a boy and you found out about it and she came home. What are you going to say? Are you going to
And your
say
husband's out of town.
are you going to have an opinion about that? And your husband's out of town.
Yeah.
Are you going to be like, I saw what you just did.
No, 100%. There's a conversation to be had. I
Okay.
think you can lend advice. I think
Great.
you can give somebody some insight. I think you can absolutely say, listen, we're gonna have to have a conversation with your dad and your mom they
So
get
you would
home."
tell on them.
Yes, yes.
Oh, absolutely. Snitching is
Yes.
happening.
Snitching.
Snitching is definitely happening.
100%.
But
because it's for their well-being.
Yes.
But again,
Yeah.
I don't think it's my place to step in and be like, I'm gonna whoop
No,
your
you
ass.
leave me with
No.
that kid. You leave me with that kid. And you should be able to trust me to know that I'm not going to hurt your child.
You're not gonna
But I
abuse.
should be able to discipline. If you're gonna leave him, don't leave him with me.
I think it's kind of easier when you're a woman too. For some reason, the role that we
Leave your
play
kids.
as women in a relationship
Take
and in
your
a family,
kids with you.
Yeah, if a man hates your kid,
All right.